Hello. If I tell you that the picture you're watching right now is being recorded on a camera that's pointing at this very monitor, live at this very moment, I think you'd be quite impressed. And don't get me started on how long that took to work out, but there's no tricks. The ANDYCINE A6 Plus monitor. Let's take a closer look.
Ta-da!
The first thing you notice is it's very nicely packaged. On-camera monitor. Break the seal. Don't need those. Oh, and it looks as though you get a nice handy case. A plastic sunshade with some felt on the inside. And this must be the monitor. It's a bit lighter than I thought it would be. HDMI cable for a DSLR, mains plug, and what's this? Ah, it's a bracket for hanging the monitor off a hot shoe. Neat. Clearly, this is designed for DSLR shooters. But what is it about pulling new film off screens? I don't normally bother with unboxing videos, but in this case, this ANDYCINE A6 Plus monitor looks to be impressively packaged. And I haven't even told you the key fact yet. In the UK, this 5.5-inch monitor sells for less than £240, and that's potentially great value. Even more so when you think that this has a 500 nit touchscreen and the ability to display and load 3D user LUTs. At this point, you might be thinking, why does he need another monitor? Well, I find I need different types of monitors for different jobs. If I'm in a studio type setup, I want a large, super color accurate screen for clients to look at. And if I need somebody to pull focus, I might want to hang a very expensive, super sharp but smaller monitor off the camera. And alternatively, if I want to give an absent-minded director a little handheld monitor to carry around so they feel a bit more useful, I might be looking for something with better value. And yes, I have had directors forget where they left it, or they leave it out in the rain, or best of all, in wet concrete on a building site. So yes, I'm looking for something that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. But I still need to be able to load 3D user LUTs because I've now got an FX9. So when ANDYCINE offered to send me one of these to try, I was genuinely interested, even though it's clearly intended to go on top of a DSLR. They seem to have packed quite a lot of features into a small package. You've got your HDMI input and outputs, and a clever battery slot which will either take the Sony F970 type batteries or the standard Canon E6 type things at the other end. And if you've got a chunky battery, it's even got a DC output, 8 volt, so you can power a lot of DSLRs with it. The DC input is a standard 12 volt. You've got a 3.5mm headphone socket and the SD card slot for loading in your LUTs. You've got screw threads for mounting the monitor on 3 different sides and just 2 controls for turning the monitor on and off and going through the menu, because the rest of it is all done on a touch screen. I like the way this looks. I like the design, which is very modern, clean and simple, and the layout is quite logical. I also like the lightness. But I have to say that in some ways it looks better than it feels. Feels a little bit too plasticky. It's like the quality of the plastic is not quite there, and the quality of the buttons and a little bit, dare I say, flimsy. And I'm not sure if the look of this is improved by putting ANDYCINE 4K on the front. 4K, does that imply 4K to you? It's not a 4K monitor, it's an HD monitor. The 4K refers to the fact that you can input 4K with the HDMI, and in fact it passes it through as well to the output. So you can in and output 4K, but the display itself is 1080. I think that's a bit misleading. But I suppose the most important thing is, what does the picture look like? So using an HDMI feed out of my main camera and turning the monitor on, It doesn't take that long before you get past the logo screen, and the boot up time is quite quick, and your monitor's ready to use. And even using the default settings straight out of the box, the display looks very clean. The little wheel on the top defaults to adjusting the backlight, although you can also do this just using the touch screen. And a quick double tap and you bring up the main menu, and straight away you can see there's an impressive list of options. Useful histogram, focus assist, which I still call peaking, a very useful audio meter, zebras, and for those that like it, false colour. You can pull up different grid patterns, your own safety markers, and even a nice adjustable mat for those different aspect ratios. That's really useful. And amazingly, it even copes with de-squeezing anamorphic mode. You can flip the screen either way, and even grab a freeze frame. On the next page, you've got the ability to display the LUTs, and it comes with S-Log2, S-Log3, Log-C and V-Log built in, but of course you can also load your own. There's all the usual monitor controls, and you can even make the menu transparent. If you swipe up from the bottom, there's a shortcut menu, pinch to zoom in and check your focus, and move the picture around. And if your director's got sausage fingers, you can turn the touchscreen off. I really like the picture quality you get off this monitor, and it certainly provides a lot of functions that make it really useful. If you spend a bit of time to set it up to match your camera, it does work really well. And obviously, you can spend literally thousands of pounds on a high-quality reference monitor, but it would be unfair to compare one of those to one of these. They're in a different part of the market. This is designed to go on the top of a DSLR to help you with focusing and framing, and in that regard it works really well. But there's a part of me that wishes ANDYCINE would make a pro version of this. Same screen, same functions, just maybe a metal body, a bit of weatherproofing, more subtle writing on the front. As it is fantastic value, and I think it works for me. If only because I've got a director that likes to leave it in wet concrete. Thanks for watching.